Imagine discovering a major mathematical breakthrough, proving it, documenting it, and then being forgotten for 400 years. Open any calculus textbook. Somewhere inside is a mathematical series used by engineers, physicists, and computer scientists around the world. Most students who learn it are not told where it came from. The first person known to derive it lived 250 years before Newton. His name is not in the textbook. His name is Madhava. He lived in Sangamagrama, in what is now Kerala, India. He derived this series in approximately 1375 CE. Newton's calculus, 1665. The gap, approximately 250 years. In 15 minutes, you will follow the same logical method Madhava used to discover these series. Not the mathematics itself. The methodology. Patient iteration. Following one question, one implication at a time, until it reveals something no direct observation can reach. Here is the detail that makes this erasure precise rather than accidental. When Madhava's successor, Deva, documented the Kerala school's proofs around 1530 CE, he wrote in Malayalam. Not Sanskrit, not Latin, not Arabic. Malayalam, the local vernacular of Kerala, understood by roughly 4 million people, in one of the world's most isolated peninsulas. This text was called the Yuktibhasha. It contained the proofs of Madhava's infinite series for sine, cosine, and pi. It described summation methods that anticipate modern integration. Some historians describe it as the earliest text to contain formal proofs of the methods that would later become calculus. It was not translated into English until the 20th century. For 400 years, the proofs for infinite series that Newton and Leibniz would independently discover sat in a Malayalam manuscript in Kerala, uncirculated, untranslated, uncredited. Not because the work was wrong, because there is no accepted scholarly evidence that Newton, Leibniz, or their contemporaries had access to these texts. Recognizing Madhava does not diminish Newton or Leibniz. They solved different parts of a larger mathematical puzzle. Newton and Leibniz developed the fundamental theorem of calculus, the proof that differentiation and integration are inverse operations, the general algorithm that made modern physics possible. Madhava did not produce this. What Madhava produced was one of the key mathematical foundations later incorporated into calculus, the infinite series. Calculus has two engines. The fundamental theorem links them. Newton and Leibniz built that link. The infinite series is one of the engines. Madhava built that engine 250 years earlier. Specifically, Madhava derived the infinite series for sine, cosine, and arctangent. He derived the series for pi divided by 4, 1 minus 1/3, plus 1/5, minus 1/7, continuing forever. This series is now called the Madhava-Leibniz series in academic literature. In most calculus textbooks, it is called the Leibniz series, or Gregory's series, or simply the Pi series, with no attribution at all. Madhava produced remarkably accurate approximations of pi, reaching at least 11 correct decimal places in surviving sources. 3.11415926535 in 1375 CE. George Geverghese Joseph of the University of Manchester, the historian whose research brought the Kerala school to international attention, said this directly. The brilliance of Newton's work stands undiminished, but Madhava and Nilakantha should stand shoulder to shoulder with him. They discovered the other great component of calculus, infinite series. Two components, two discoveries, separated by 250 years. One is in every textbook. One is in almost none. Madhava was born around 1340 CE in Sangamagrama. The town sat in the kingdom of Cochin, near the southern tip of the Indian peninsula. His title was Golavid, Master of Spherics, the mathematician astronomer who understood the movement of the celestial sphere. He founded what historians now call the Kerala School of Astronomy and Mathematics. It would remain active for 2 centuries after his death in approximately 1425 CE. The school produced generations of mathematicians who built on what he started. Nilakantha wrote a major astronomical treatise around 1500 CE. He cited Madhava explicitly as the source of the infinite series. Jyestadeva wrote the Yuktibhasha around 1530. He provided the formal proofs for everything the school had discovered. This is how we know it was Madhava. Most of Madhava's original writings have not survived. His contributions are documented through the works of his successors, who cite him by name as the originator. The citation chain is Madhava's discoveries, confirmed in Nilakantha's Tantra Sangraha in 1500, proven formally in Jyesthadeva's Yuktibhasha in 1530. This is the same methodology used to attribute most ancient discoveries. We know Euclid's contributions from the texts that document them. We know Archimedes from manuscripts copied by later scholars. The chain of citation is the standard of historical mathematics. The chain for Madhava is intact. The attribution is confirmed. What the Yuktibhasha contains is not conjecture. It contains the proofs. The derivations for the sine series, the derivations for the cosine series, the summation methods that anticipate integration. Written in 1530, in Malayalam, in Kerala. Unread by the mathematicians who would independently derive the same results a century and a half later in Europe. There is a question underneath Madhava's discovery that no mathematical training resolves. Not that Madhava got the answer. But how he got there? How does a mind arrive at the infinite series foreseen without the toolkit of modern calculus to guide it? Without limits as a formal concept, without the fundamental theorem, without the notation Newton and Leibniz would develop? The answer is patient iteration. Madhava did not see the sine series as a complete object. He approached it as a process, one term at a time, adding each implication carefully to the last. Watching the approximation improve, watching the pattern become clear. Notice something right now. There is a question you have been holding for a long time, not necessarily mathematical. A question about something you do not yet fully understand. What happens when you add one more observation to it, one more implication, one more patient step in the same direction? Not forcing a conclusion, adding one step. This is the methodology that produced Madhava's infinite series. Not inspiration, not sudden insight, patient iteration. Modern cognitive research suggests that breakthroughs often emerge from long periods of focused attention on a single problem, not from sudden flashes, from sustained inquiry that refuses to stop one step short. Madhava held the behavior of the sine function in precisely this way, for long enough to see where it led. Try this today. Take one question you have been holding, something unresolved, something you have thought about partially but not followed all the way through. Add one more observation to it, One thing you already know that connects. A fact, a pattern, a single implication. Does that observation change the question? Does it point toward the next step? Add one more. Not forcing a conclusion, not deciding what the answer must be. Not deciding what the answer must be. Following what the question reveals when it is given complete attention. This is what Madhava did with the sine function. Not once, not quickly, over years. One implication at a time, until the series emerged. In 2007, the University of Manchester research team stated directly, the discovery of the infinite series, currently and wrongly attributed in textbooks to Newton and Leibniz at the end of the 17th century, the series for sine, the series for cosine, the series for pi, all documented in the Kerala school's texts, all attributed to Madhava, all predating their European counterparts by approximately 250 years. Joseph argued that colonial-era scholarship contributed to the neglect, alongside the language barrier, the geography, and the limited circulation of the Kerala manuscripts. The beginnings of modern maths is usually seen as a European achievement. The discoveries in medieval India between the 14th and 16th centuries have been ignored or forgotten. Madhava's name is not in your calculus textbook. The series he discovered is under someone else's name. The ancient Indian scientist series has now covered 3 figures. Aryabhata argued that Earth rotates on its axis in 499 CE. European astronomy reached the same conclusion 1,454 years later. Brahmagupta described the Earth's tendency to attract bodies in 628 CE. Newton quantified it 1,059 years later. Madhava derived infinite series in approximately 1375 CE. Newton and Leibniz independently derived the same component approximately 250 years later. When Newton was born, Madhava had already been dead for more than 2 centuries. 3 mathematicians, 3 discoveries, 3 gaps measured in centuries, 1 tradition. A tradition that produced Aryabhata at 23, that produced Brahmagupta's gravity concept before the concept of universal gravitation existed, that produced Madhava's infinite series before the language of calculus had been invented. Leave a comment below. When you opened your first calculus textbook, did it mention India? Did it mention Kerala? Did it mention Madhava? The series is called Newton's series, or Gregory's series, or the Leibniz formula for pi. It has another name in academic literature, the Madhava-Leibniz series. That name is correct. Use it. How many other discoveries are hidden because they were written in the wrong language, in the wrong place, at the wrong moment in history? The Ancient Indian Scientists series continues. The next chapter moves from mathematics to atomic theory. An Indian philosopher described all matter as composed of indivisible particles. Traditional sources place him before the Greek philosopher Democritus by more than a century. One of the 2 founding claims of atomic theory belongs to a tradition that does not appear in a single mainstream physics textbook. That story is next.